Armada Kickoff is brought to you by Dream Finders Homes, Community First Credit Union, Winn-Dixie, Baptist Health, and Bowden Eye and Associates.
Hello and welcome into Armada Kickoff. I am pleased to be joined this week by Amanda Borges, who is filling in. Great to have you here, Amanda.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm excited. I feel like Amanda and Armada kind of go together, right?
Perfect, right? Absolutely. Well, it's a bounce-back week for the Armada as they travel to Ottawa looking to snap a goal drought and looking for that elusive away win. We'll have comments from head coach Tony Meola on what he expects out of his team as they work their way through this dry patch.
Also coming up, Mauricio Ruiz is in the boot room to show what the Armada can do to find the net. Plus, I talked to some of the veteran players to find out how they deal with adversity.
Mauricio and Andy Kidd will be here on the Analyst Roundtable as well, but let's start with a trek to play perhaps the best roster in the NASL. Next year, Minnesota United will be playing in the MLS, and they're starting to stack their roster. In addition to 4 players who were selected to the NASL's Best 11 a year ago on Minnesota, they also added 2 more this offseason, including the league's leading scorer from a year ago, Stefano Pino. How would the Armada handle that kind of firepower?
Chilly by Florida standards, some Armada supporters bundled up, making the trip up to Minnesota. Early stages, Minnesota gets on the board. Look at this curling ball from Kevin Venegas, a right-footed player hitting with his left foot. This is a right back making this play. Makes it a 1-0 Minnesota lead. In the early going, that was 16 minutes in. But the Armada quickly coming back. 5 minutes later, Jamal Johnson, beautiful little through ball here to Matt Fondy, who's 1v1 with the goalkeeper, but he sends it wide. Take another look. Great opportunity for the Armada, but they could not convert. Fondy continues to search for that first goal of 2016. Later in the first half, another opportunity here. A lot of guys in the box for Minnesota, and it comes through to Stefano Pino, last year's Golden Boot winner in the North American Soccer League, with Fort Lauderdale scores for the first time with his new club, Minnesota United. It's 2-0. Almost 3-0 here off a corner, if not for the play of Miguel Gallardo. Look at him get his hand on it on a header that was destined for the goal by Brent Coleman, but Gallardo keeps it a 2-0 contest. Armada continue to try to push the opportunity here. Jamal Johnson really had some steam behind this one, but Sammy Inchuk with the save keeps it at a 2-0 contest in the first half. Second half, Minnesota United really locked things down defensively. They were very tough and had some options. Watch Justin Davis here. This is a left back making his move forward. Really turns around Brian Burke, but couldn't get the shot on goal. Later in the half, another opportunity here. Beautiful bring down by Christian Ramirez, who leaves it off. But the shot goes wide by Anyor. Take another look at it. Gallardo had the post covered. The Armada looking for some opportunities late in the contest. Corner kick. Tyler Ruthven got a head on it, but didn't flick it on enough, just lunging for it. Armada failed to score for the 3rd straight contest. They lose it 2-0 in Minnesota.
I had some chances that I need to do better with. I think we just need to be sharper all over the field. It's going to be a tough one to swallow, but we're going to look at the video and get back to work.
When you keep shooting yourself in the foot, you don't deserve results, and that's what we're doing. We're getting punished for every mistake we make, and we're not scoring enough goals right now to bail ourselves out. So we just got to believe that we can figure this out. I think everybody knows we have the people here to do it. We just got to figure out a way to get it done.
You take a look at the numbers from Saturday night in Minnesota. Just 2 shots on target for the Armada. They were fairly aggressive in terms of the crosses, corners, possession, but Minnesota doesn't give you many opportunities when you play them, particularly up there, and when you get them, you need to take advantage of them. The Armada did not, so it's another loss for Jacksonville.
Jamal Johnson had one of those shots on goal. It was one of Jacksonville's best chances. In his 90 minutes of play, Johnson had 44 touches, the most of any Armada forward. Although neither Johnson nor his teammates scored, the former Premier League forward was very active. He earned the Farah and Farah Man of the Match honors for the 2nd time this year. Now it's time for the Analyst Roundtable presented by Subway. Cole?
Players that you can switch around, and we're going to be very strong.
We saw a lot of different players, a lot of different lineups.
All right, here on the Analyst Roundtable, Mauricio Ruiz and Andy Kidd. All right, let's start with the news from late last week. The Richie Ryan deal sent to Miami. It's being reported as a huge transfer fee. Andy, what kind of impact is this going to have now and down the road for the Armada?
Short term, it's going to have an impact on the team on the field. It has to. Anybody that's played soccer before, your captain's gone, your central midfielder, your leader, it's going to have an impact short term. I think long term on the field, the players will recover. There'll be a new leader that emerges. Kevon George plays that role pretty well already. And then with the cash that came in, you're able to pick up some pretty nice players that may help you with that scoring drought that you've had.
And I think the players in the organization understand that. You know, it's not a player for player, transaction. It's a cash amount. It's an opportunity for a guy that late in his career to do something else, that he hasn't done before, a big contract. So I think the players respect how professional Richie has always been since he's been here, and I think they're ultimately happy for him.
Interesting question here to ponder too, Mauricio. How is this going to impact the perception of the NASL around the country and around the world?
Well, I think that it clearly states that the NSL owners are ready to spend some money and is trying to make this league competitive. And if they feel a player within the league or within a neighboring league can make their team better, some teams, money's not going to be an object.
Yeah, this shows a commitment level by both teams. The Armada see this as a way to get their franchise moving in the right direction, and so does Miami. And these are owners that aren't in it just as a hobby. They're in it to build a successful franchise at the highest level possible. So I think it does send a strong message.
It's encouraging than anything. That's not just a end of career hobby for a lot of these players and coaches, that they're serious about winning.
No doubt about it. All right, Mauricio, Andy, thanks so much. More from you guys coming up in just a bit. 6 games into the season, the Armada have yet to put it all together, and this may be a bit of a crossroads for the team as they try to dig their way out of a hole. Amanda caught up with some of the veteran players to find out how they plan on overcoming adversity.
That's the final whistle. Minnesota wins it 2-0 over Jacksonville, 3rd straight loss for the Armada.
It's been a tough stretch for the Armada. 3 straight games without a goal. 3 losses and plenty of questions. But Armada veterans say there is one reliable way to end a bad stretch.
Really, the only thing you can do is just put your shoes on and go out and continue to work. You can't feel sorry for yourself once you do that, and that's really when you've lost, kind of, in my opinion. So really, it's just you got to keep working, and sooner or later if you keep doing the right things, sooner or later things will turn around.
A lot of attention has been paid to the lack of goals, and that is certainly part of the equation, but it's not the whole story.
Be more decisive everywhere, not just, scoring goals. We just can't point the finger at one person or 2 people. We're a team, because if we were winning, everyone would be getting the plaudits. So we're going to stay together as a team and grind it out, and, it'll turn around sooner or later.
There can be a tendency to press when the opportunities present themselves, and this week, without their captain and without some key players away on international duty, there are opportunities all over the pitch for someone, maybe unexpected, to make a difference.
Occasionally I do feel as though, it's my responsibility. If I'm on the field, I try and make a big impact on other players around me, but it's as a collective, we've all got to take responsibility.
Tony Meola admitted this week that he's been losing sleep over the Armada's struggles, but he does have a plan, and he's confident the players can execute on it. Here's more now in the Coach's Corner, presented by Asana Health and Wellness.
The approach is simple, just to continue to stay positive, work on the things that we've worked on for the last 4 months or so, 3 or 4 months, and try and get better at them, and try and be a little bit sharper going into Ottawa than we were against Minnesota.
From a open the floodgate standpoint, 1 goal or 1 win, I mean, you hope you get that to see what happens. You've probably experienced that as a player before, where 1 positive result can change things in a hurry.
Yeah, no doubt. And for us, clearly it's been on the scoring goal side of things, and it's going to come. It's just a matter of I hate using unlucky, because I think you make your own luck. So we just have to be better in those areas. It's not as if you come around. It's not as if we don't talk about it all day, but they understand it. They get it. They know it. They feel it every day. And only thing you can do is really continue to work at getting better at it.
And you'll be without Mishak and Pascal here for a stretch. How do you manage that?
Well, guys have to come in and do a good job. And one of the things that rotating a couple players early on is going to help us. We'll likely see Beto in the back, who hasn't seen any time yet. So we've prepared him over the last 2 weeks to continue to stay sharp. And it's like anything when you have a team, whether you have an injury or a guy going to national team call-up. I look at it as an opportunity for guys to come in and get some minutes and be productive for us.
Is there a change in the way that you expect the leadership to operate now with Richie gone and with these guys going to be gone? Does the dynamic of leadership change?
Well, someone has to step up and be a leader, right? And Richie was that guy, but he's no longer here. And again, as much as there's a spot on the field and there's a couple spots coming up in the next few weeks to embrace the role of playing, someone has to embrace the role of being a leader. You can't, I don't know that you can ask anybody just to all of a sudden become a leader. You might be able to ask guys to do a little bit more in that area and be a little bit more vocal. But I think you're either born a leader or you're not. You're right. So to ask a guy that's not really that type of guy to sort of step in that role might be uncomfortable for them. So, but someone's going to have to do it for sure.
All right, here's what's coming up for the Armada. Sunday, it's the Ottawa Fury in Canada. Then back home a week from Saturday, it is Military Appreciation Night at Community First Park. Former and current members of the military, tickets just $5 for that one. Then it's the U.S. Open Cup as the Armada will take on the Villages SC, an upset winner over Charleston Battery. That game will be at JU on June the 1st. And then back on the road to take on Carolina. Single match tickets start at just $11. Call 844-2-ARMADA or go online at armadafc.com. Coming up, we go around the NASL where for a third straight week there's a new team atop the table.
And Mauricio Ruiz heads to the Armada boot room to find something for the Armada to build on. Stick around. More Armada Kickoff when we return.
To enter for your chance to participate in the Winn-Dixie Bubble Battle, visit your nearest Winn-Dixie in your Armada gear, take a selfie, and post it to any of the Armada social media using the hashtag WinnDixieBB. 2 winners will be selected every Wednesday during a home match week. Assemble a team of 3, and you're ready for battle.
Some weeks are all about the goal scorers. Some weeks it's about the keepers. This was one of those weeks. Let's go around the NASL presented by Nike.
We start in Fort Lauderdale, a match that was delayed by an hour 25-minute weather delay. But talk about lightning striking. Look at this save by John Bush. He had a fantastic performance. The Indy goalkeeper dedicating the performance to his father who had passed away earlier in the week. And he had save after save after save. This one got a fingertip on it from Icon Santos. A little help from his friends as well. Fort Lauderdale and Indy, and in a 0-0 draw. More great goalkeeping with Miami and Carolina. Look at the Miami goalkeeper. Daniel Vega continued to put up big performances. He made save after save as well, helping Miami get a point away. 0-0 with Miami and Carolina. All right, but you want to see some goals. Here's one off a mistake from the Tampa Bay goalkeeper. Michel puts it in to give Rayo OKC the 1-0 lead in the 54th minute. But later in the half, 74th minute, Tom Heineman on the breakaway. This goes to an own goal by Wanan. It also ends in a 1-1 draw. Come from behind fashion for the folks in Tampa. FC Edmonton, suddenly a team to watch. The Eddies at home facing the New York Cosmos. Look at this long pass. The Eddies from Justin Correa to Jason Plumhoff. Plumhoff gets the goal. 1-0. Plumhoff's first career goal. And then Papa Diakite, guy who really gave the Armada trouble, 74th minute. He puts it away. The Eddies beat the Cosmos 2-1.
So here are the NASL standings as of the moment. Minnesota United up to the top on goal differential. They're in first. Carolina Railhawks second, both on 13 points in the Cosmos. And yes, FC Edmonton in fourth as of the moment. Indy 11 also yet to lose. It's been draw for Indy of late. Take a look at the second half of the NASL standings, though. The Armada have some work to do for sure, but it wouldn't take much to vault them up into the mid-table. Just need to get on a little bit of a winning streak here in the next couple of weeks. Now let's head to the Armada Boot Room presented by M-Tech. Along with Mauricio Ruiz, here's Amanda Borges.
All right, Mauricio, the Armada are obviously searching for goals. Now you see something little that could make a big difference.
Yeah, and really what I'm going to show is a comparison of what the Armada are doing and what Minnesota United have done, which is why they're on top of the league and why they're so successful. So the first clip that we have here, Amanda, is a ball over the top into the box Ball's going to come back out. We're going to retain possession a little bit, and then we're going to get an opportunity for a cross. So Kevon, George, Pascal, they do a really good job. And then once the ball gets out wide, I want to stop here and freeze and really talk about the runs inside the box. So you have Jamal Johnson here. You have Lucas Caglia and Nico Pera making a really good run into the box. Now, this run from JJ really needs to be between the two center backs and in front of the goalkeeper. But instead, he really makes a run towards the ball, doesn't really create anything, doesn't move the goalkeeper, so it makes it really difficult to create opportunities. And so we're going to see on the reverse, the contrary, Minnesota United and what they do so well. They do a good job of keeping up the ball. They possess it, and now they get the ball over the top right away. They short, long, make defenders run backwards. And when they get an opportunity to get inside the box, near post run by Christian Ramirez, Pina on the back post. And we're going to see on the replay here a little bit is really where I wanted to focus, why they're so good and how they crash the box and do so well. A lot of numbers in the box, and Christian Ramirez, you saw him scratching his head, top goal scorer in the league, and there's a reason for that, which is where we're going to see how they attack. On a replay, it's going to be perfect angle, and we're going to top it at the right time. Perfect opportunity. So many numbers inside the box. Christian Ramirez, Pina, the goal scorer before, and all the center mids making crashing runs into the box. And we're going to see here Christian Ramirez making his near post run, really freezing our goalkeeper and taking the defenders with them, and something that the Armada are not doing. So on the replay here, missed opportunity there, but Minnesota United, they do this so many times throughout the game. And really, man, that's why Minnesota United are on top of the league, and that's why their Armada is struggling for goals, really creating opportunities, but where those runs are coming from, how you move those defenders are a really big deal on how you score goals.
All right, well, thank you, Mauricio. We look forward to seeing them on Sunday. Cole?
Thank you, Amanda. Straight ahead, Andy Kidd joins Mauricio and I on the Analyst Roundtable. The Armada now know their U.S. Open Cup opposition. What can they expect from the Villages SC on June the 1st? Stick around. More Armada Kickoff right around the corner.
The Armada Social Rewards Program is a great way to connect with the team and win Armada prizes. Anything from tickets, exclusive interactions with players and coaches, and a whole lot more. All you have to do is log on to armadasocialrewards.com. Create an account, link your social media accounts, and start earning tokens. Each week here on Armada Kickoff, we pick a random winner. This week's Social Rewards winner is Becky Johnson. Congratulations! You've won 2 tickets to the Armada's May 28th Military Appreciation Match against Indy 11.
All right, back here on the Analyst Roundtable presented by Subway, along with Andy Kidd, Mauricio Ruiz. All right, the Armada now know who they'll face in the U.S. Open Cup. It'll be the Villages SC, who pulled the upset over Charleston Battery in penalty kicks. Mauricio, you know a little something about the Villages and some of the personnel involved there.
Yeah, and it's a new project. It's a new PDL team, one of the various upcoming and rising organizations that are trying to eventually get themselves into professional environment. So they put in a roster that is ex-pros, a lot of Brazilian players, some very talented. My assistant coach at JU is actually the assistant coach there as well. So we'll be cheering for them a little bit, but it'll be a good event.
So they'll know their way around the campus at JU.
A little bit.
Andy, what can the Armada get out of the U.S. Open Cup in general?
Well, it's huge. You can gain some positive momentum if you can go a couple rounds and get into where you're playing MLS teams, and you can kind of reinvigorate your fan base. To be quite frank, has had a tough road so far in the NASL season. So here's a fresh start, something totally different that the team can focus on and maybe try and make a run in and get people excited about the team.
And not to take this team lightly, because the Battery started their reserves yesterday, and then they found themselves putting their starters at the end of the game. I think their Armada will probably learn a lesson from that.
Absolutely.
Last year we saw reserves, a lot of reserves in for the Armada against Richmond.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen this time around.
Can't.
Andy, we've got a few more games left here in the spring season. What will you call a success from here to the end of the spring?
Just some semblance of consistency. Whether it's I think we're tired of creating chances. We want to create goals, for the Armada. We're tired of being, having, close calls. Now we got to get 3 points. Got to get a result, and kind of build some momentum towards the fall. I mean, a spring championship is pretty much out of the question, but building momentum to the fall and for the overall record is important at this point. So, I think you want to see some that professionalism and start building some consistency.
Yeah, I think the momentum is huge going into the fall for sure, and I think players, you want to see them get on a bit of a run. Yeah. Whether eliminate the mistakes out of the back and some attacking players starting to do their role and do their job, that it bodes well into the fall.
Andy Kidd, Mauricio, Ruiz, thanks so much. Coming up, a closer look at Saturday's opponent, Ottawa Fury. Stick around. More Armada Kickoff is straight ahead.
On Sunday at 2 o'clock, the Armada will be in Canada to take on the Ottawa Fury. Last year's NASL Championship finalists have gotten off to a slow start, had a tough time getting things going after some major roster overhauls in the offseason, but they're coming off their performance in the Amway Cup, Canada's answer to the U.S. Open Cup, under new head coach Paul Dalglish.
All right, that's the next match. Next home match, though, Saturday, May 28th, a week from Saturday at Community First Park, as the Armada take on Indy 11, a team to this point has not lost a match so far this year. 2 wins, 4 draws coming into this weekend. It is Military Appreciation Night. That means $5 tickets for all active and retired military members and their family, and the pre-match street party as well to get things started. Remember, you can get the very latest on the Armada online at armadafc.com, and on Sports Radio 930, the Armada Coaches Show featuring Tony Miola is Mondays at 6, the Armada Soccer Show Wednesdays at 6 o'clock. And our coverage of the Armada taking on Ottawa Fury begins Sunday at 1:30 right here on CW17. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Cole Pepper.
And I'm Amanda Borges. We leave you now with our Armada selfie montage. To get your picture on the show, tag all of your Armada-related photos on social media with the hashtag ArmadaSelfie. We'll see you next time.